There were no jaw-dropping cliffhangers on this episode, but very interesting nonetheless. And we found out who those agents were that entered Hunter's room with Alonzo on the teaser that's been playing all weekend. Now the mid-season trailer is beginning to make a lot of sense. Hunter discovered a few eye-opening revelations that are giving him ammunition and a game plan for the remainder of the season, so let's talk about it. Now, the episode opened with Hunter catching Eli and Victoria hunching on his desk. Hunter wanted to know how long they'd been having an affair, and he suspected that, it had been happening since their campaign runs. But Victoria admitted to him that they've been hooching and cooching since the governor's mansion, which is, of course, it takes place first, right? So it's been a minute. He told Eli to get away from his woman, and then he went to walk towards them. He passed out. He passed out right there on the rug again. I'm gonna need Hunter to get a walker, a cane, or something. Where is your scooter? So now Hunter has all the pieces to the puzzle. He knows about the affair. He knows that Victoria and Eli are trying to get rid of him. Eli called him stupid and an idiot. They're just dogging Hunter out, like right there, right in his face. No shame at all. Is this Hunter's karma? Does he deserve all of this? The affair, yes, maybe, but not death. Or does he? He told them both to buckle up, and then he left. Now old wimpy Eli, he's nervous and he's scared, and he want to go home. And Victoria told him not to worry about anything and that she's going to handle Hunter. She said that she knows all of his dirt, all of his secrets, and that her hands were not nearly as dirty as his. And now they're in love with each other. And that's all I got to say. Clarence, Richard, and Nancy. Clarence thought he was invited over to his son's and daughter-in-law's house for some greens and taters, but in reality, Richard wanted to know what had gone on between he and his wife over 25 years ago. Now, Richard was very upset, and he had every right to be. He questioned his dad man to man about the woman that they both loved, apparently. And Clarence tried to stick to the lie that they both agreed to tell, right? Which was that the affair only happened once. But of course, we know that Nancy had already told Richard what had happened, right? She told him that it happened a lot and that Clarence wanted to stop because he didn't want to hurt Richard. So when he returned home from the war, they had to cut it off. But in this episode, Richard said that the affair stopped only because his mom found out about it. So go figure. He called Nancy a low-down, dirty witch with a B. He said that he was done, it was over between them, and then he walked out. And of course, Nancy had to put Clarence out as well. Donald is now recognizing that Alan is stepping up around the office, and he wants to give him more responsibilities. And I wonder what it was that Alan did to make Donald want to do this. But in the middle of his conversation, Hunter hopped into his office, and Hunter thinks that everybody is against him and wants him dead. He thinks that Donald knew about the affair between Victoria and Eli, but Donald told him that Simone did in fact tell him about the affair when she was in that bunker, but he didn't believe her until Hunter just confirmed it. Donald assured him that he's not the one that he has to worry about. He told Hunter to go ahead and get well so that they can get Eli out of the office. Then before Hunter left, he told Donald that Eli won't be the only one that he gets rid of. So Donald's gonna be fired twice. Then we cut to Officer Heller and Lily. They're on their first date. Right there in her living room. Lily had enough time to pour him up a glass of bourbon, right? But didn't take the time to wipe the blood that was dripping off the side of his face. So he started sipping some of the bourbon, and he asked her if she had any kids. And this is when she decided to have Officer Heller play therapist. She told him that Donald was gay, had gay lovers, and then she also told the Secret Service agent that Kyle was one of Donald's lovers. Lily will talk to anyone who will listen, right? To her tiny violin life story. Y'all remember when she was trying to get away from Donald, and then she had Kareem listening to her sob story up in the pharmacy. Do y'all remember this when she went to get those pain pills after she got shot? Oh man, I guess when you've got to get it out, then you'll just tell everybody and anybody your story. So then Officer Heller wanted to know what they were going to do with him, and Lily said that there was nothing that he could do, yada yada. She called him her hero. Then they started speaking in Spanish, and this threw the agent off, right? Lily got up and smashed him over the head with the liquor bottle, gave Officer Heller the keys to one of her old untrackable cars, and told him to go and get his daughter. So he's gone. And that's the smartest thing that Lily has done in like 5 seasons. But Donna gonna get that ass when he get there. Then we have Kareem and Antonio in the principal's office. This reminded me of when kids get in trouble and the kid be so scared that he just start telling everything that happened all in one sentence. That was Cuz. This is exactly what's happening in this scene. Cuz said, F it. You know, if I'm going to go out, then I'm not going to be the only one. He told Hunter everything. And it turns out that Antonio was sleeping with the wife of a DEA agent who was supplying him with as much dope as he wanted. And the agent was the lookout for Kareem's operation too. He told Hunter that the agent's wife told him that everything was going smoothly until the agent kept getting calls from the White House making demands that he lace the dope with fentanyl. He told him that he didn't know which batch got laced, but Kareem knew nothing about any of it. But one thing that he did know is that the woman who was calling from the White House wanted the dope laced because she wanted the person who was going to be taking it dead. And there you go. It was Victoria the entire time, just like she said. So now, of course, Hunter wants to talk to this wife, and he knows that it was Victoria who was calling from the White House. But he wants it confirmed, you know? He told Alonzo to escort them back down the hallway and to be sure that he avoided Donald, Victoria, and Eli. Now, the reason that they think that Jason is in the White House is because Sam scrambled the phone line of the phone that Jason was using. Boy, I tell you, they have some hell of a technology hardware up in that White House, don't they? But Max reported back to Sam and told him that they got Manny to talk, right? He didn't say much, and he only wanted to talk to Bobby since he looks at Max as being the evil white man. Max told Sam that he found the tracker that was on Jason's motorbike and that he may be on his way to Alan's apartment. Manny told him that Jason was on the compound, but they let him go. And he also said that Barry was on the compound. They also let him go. So Sam told Max to let Manny go. And they're not going to worry about him talking because everybody thinks that the Rackadushis are crazy anyway. So them kidnapping Manny was just a complete waste of time, period. So now Victoria went upstairs to try and talk to Hunter. And she still got this black prom dress on that she just hiked up for Eli and ain't hitting no bath water. Like, girl, I know you smell yourself. Like, how are you going to walk around the White House wet? Of course, she was denied access and tried to manipulate the agent by telling him that she's the first lady. But the agent told her her fake rank means nothing because technically Eli and Simone are the president and the first lady. And she was like, no, Eli being in the office now is just a ceremonial move. The agent said, take her down. Like, she's still running her mouth as they forced her to the ground. And he told her that the taser was coming next if she didn't leave. The next scene was a short scene. Now that Simone has told Priscilla everything, they now have a plan. And Simone told Priscilla that she has to stay cool, calm, and collected, but that she had to leave because Eli was on his way home. Priscilla got a phone call, and I think it was Alonzo, that's what it sounded like, on the other end, who's going to meet her at her house. Dale is once again without a home or a pot to piss in. He's crying wolf to Agent Desiree and Kyle, telling them how afraid he is and how powerless he is and how he wants all of this protection. Okay, Dale, if you want protection, then you let them protect you. Dale said that he wants protection, but he doesn't want to be in the witness protection program. He said that he wants to be more stable and that he's tired of moving around so much. So this is why I call Dale the dumb blonde of the White House. Dale has been moving around from pillar to post since he moved to Virginia. He never had a stable place to call home, so he's been moving around since day one. Then he just quit his job at the pharmacy. So how stable are you? You know, for real. And these people are offering protection and a place for him to stay and to be safe from Kyle, from Donald, and the big bad wolf. So just go, Dale, go. His life is so contradictory to what he's saying that he wants, so I'm done with Dale. Alan came home and then he wanted to know if the agents had downloaded the contents of the little black box, and he even gave them another USB drive with their conversation from the office on it. And Desiree Kyle is basically deeming it as illegal because he didn't have permission to tape anybody. And they've got some nerve to talk about what's illegal, right? Then we have Jason calling Hunter, and he wanted to know if they tried to kill him. Hunter had to confess. He had to confessed it all and told him that it was Victoria all along, just to clear his name and to get himself off the hook. And this also confirms what I've been saying all along, that Hunter does have compassion for his kids to some degree. I mean, it's not perfect, but he really does care. Jason told him that he's going to burn his little playhouse down, aka the White House. And Hunter said, "I'll help you." He told Jason that he needed him and that they both can go public and tell the world everything that's been going on. Jason said that he didn't trust Hunter because Hunter never protected him. He hung up the phone, and in the final scene, we see where he had made it over to Alan's apartment. End scene. Now, I liked this episode. It was pretty decent, with my favorite scene being Richard going off on Nancy and his dad, because that scene was real. Like, I felt Richard's pain and his disappointment, and we've never heard Richard use as many four-letter words before. It was awesome. It was good to hear him release, right, after all these seasons. The scene was very believable and relatable because he left. I mean, he didn't leave without telling them off, but he left. And my least favorite scene is the first one with Eli and Hunter and Victoria. I really hated Eli and Victoria in this scene. And even though Hunter has been doing this to Victoria for years, for some reason, I felt sorry for Hunter. Like, this entire episode, like, he was moping from room to room, taking in disappointment after disappointment. And I think that even though they go through what they go through as a married couple, he never tried to kill Victoria, right? And I think this is what is hurting him the most, just the evilness behind it all. And that's all I got, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You know I'd appreciate it. And if you're a fan of Tyler Perry's The Oval, go ahead and sub to the channel for more videos just like this one. Don't forget to be good to yourself and be good to each other. I'm going to see you in the next one.